Hey guys, Insomnia here with some more AFK Arena. Today we are back on the Mauler account and we are back for another edition of our hero breakdown. So really taking a look at heroes, seeing their skills and abilities, their priority, where they kind of sit on the signature item or the tier list, and also seeing their abilities and how they work in synergy within the team itself. As you can see, we're on the Mauler account today. They are on 30-12 and today we are looking at Vurk. Vurk is such a very, very powerful mauler. After he received the rework, his damage is very, very high. He has the ability to actually boost his own damage, being pretty self-sufficient, but now he provides a very, very strong crowd control aspect, which he never possessed before, making him even more powerful. So let's go ahead, we'll take a look at his skills and abilities. So his big ability, which is Mania. Vurk runs up and down the battlefield for 15 seconds while he fires bolts at multiple enemies. Bolts may pierce enemies, and all enemies struck by the bolt are dealt 100% damage. As you can see, level 3 is 120% damage. Now, couple this with his signature item. So when you unlock his signature item, now the Mania ability fires 3 bolts for 80% damage. When you have the plus 20 unlocked, now you have all 3 bolts that are doing 120% damage. Just like the initial bolt, which was one single bolt doing 120% damage, now you have 3 bolts doing 120% damage. But looking at the signature item, for the plus 30, the Mania ability now fires 5 crossbow bolts per attack. Now you have 5 bolts doing 120% damage each. So not only does his ultimate ability go from 1 bolt, signature item now to 3 bolts, max signature item now to 5 bolts, which is why he does need his plus 30 signature item to really maximize that damage with the 5 bolts that he's going to fire from his crossbow, doing massive, massive damage to a very, very big area. The only drawback to this ability is it does take him a while to actually run up and down the allied side. So he actually drops back to the allied side, which we'll see in a little bit, fires off the 5 bolts at a time, pretty much covering a majority of the battlefield. But this can be interrupted. If he is stunned, if he is silenced, if he is crowd controlled, it can be interrupted, where a lot of heroes' ultimate abilities cannot be interrupted. Vurk's can, and that is by design because it is such a powerful ultimate ability. If he is allowed to run the full entire course of his ult, pretty much the enemy team is dead. So looking at the next ability, which is the piercing bolt. When using normal attacks, bolts fires from Vurk's crossbow are able to penetrate enemies, dealing 140% damage to all enemies standing in a straight line. So if you put him in the top or bottom position, in the 3 or 5 position, you can actually hit multiple heroes. So we'll actually go through 1, 2, even if you have them all stacked up, 3 heroes, which works in pretty strong synergy with Skarath being able to pull all the targets together. So he can actually hit multiple heroes with the piercing bolt when they are closer together. Also, he also synergizes well with Sophia because of the spectral disruption, increasing the attack power even further for this hero. Big thing is his level 3 and 4 ability. When this ability deals damage against enemies that are poisoned as a result of Vurk's poison vial, which we'll see in a moment, Vurk's attack speed will be increased by 60 for 3 seconds. So he has his own haste in there as long as this ability is used on a hero that is poisoned. Level 4, for every poison enemy that this ability deals damage against, Vurk shall recover an additional 40 energy. So now he comes with his own haste if the hero is poisoned, and he comes with his own energy regen. Again, if the enemies are poisoned, very, very strong to synergize even amongst himself. Which brings us to the poison vial. Lobs a poison vial at an enemy, which poisons them for 10 seconds. Poison enemies will have their energy recovery rate decreased by 50%, attack rating decreased by 50%. They will also lose health equal to 50, or if you look at level 3, 70% of Vurk's attack rating every second. Poison effects cannot be stacked if an already poisoned enemy is targeted again by this ability, the duration of the poison effects shall be extended. So if you have one specific target, you can keep them poisoned pretty much the whole entire battle, which is very strong. I use him against specific targets that are very difficult to deal with, even using them in the Battle of Blood right now, using Vurk against either enemies that come on the allied side or very tough enemies like Orthos. This poison vial can take care of Orthos relatively quickly because of the energy recovery rate decreased by 50%, which makes a very, very big difference when it comes to overall damage and the survivability. But the final one is really the big rework, the poison traps. At the beginning of battle, Vurk sets down poison traps behind himself and his frontline allies. So when you start the battle, you do have 5 poison traps that are going to be up, 1 directly behind every allied. Traps are activated when enemies are in close proximity to them and causes a nearby enemy to be stunned for 3 seconds. As you can see, the level 3 is for 5 seconds. So it gives them a 5-second stun and poisoned for 10 seconds. So not only are they going to spend the next 5 seconds of the battle being stunned, they're poisoned for 10 seconds. The ability's poison effects are consistent with the ability Poison Vials. Enemies that are immune to control abilities will not trigger the traps. So essentially, now you have a hero that is stunned for 5 seconds, poisoned for 10 seconds, has the energy recovery rate decreased by 50%, attack rating decreased by 50%, and they will also lose health equal to 50% of Vurk's attack every second. So very, very powerful when it comes to the poison trap ability. But the synergy goes even further when it comes to the furniture. But the poison traps I use against any heroes that knock back, whether it's Hendrik, whether it's Estrilda, Screg, heroes that are knocked back. Screg is immune to these traps if he is maxed out. But for a lot of heroes, especially Athalia, Kelthar, so if Athalia comes on the allied side, gets the poison traps, gets stunned, dies relatively easy. Same with Kelthar. If Kelthar actually comes on the allied side when he does his little switch, he will hit the poison trap, he will be stunned for 5 seconds, and the poison does a significant amount of damage to the hero that gets hit by the trap. So not only being stuck and poisoned for 5 seconds, or stunned for 5 seconds, but they do get the 10 seconds of poison as well, which again, if Vurk hits them with Piercing Bolt, because they are poisoned, it is going to increase his attack speed and increase his energy regen. And looking at the furniture, which is kind of the final piece, Vurk's normal attacks and mania. So now his normal attacks and his ultimate ability deal 35% more damage to enemies that have been poisoned. A majority of the time, there will be a minimum of 1 hero poisoned at any given time, possibly more because of the poison vial ability and the duration that it goes, the 10-second duration on an enemy. But put all that together, look at the 9 piece. Prolongs the duration time of an enemy is poisoned by 1 second when Vurk uses the normal attack or his mania ability. So essentially, you can increase the duration time by 1 second when he uses normal attacks or when he uses mania, allowing heroes to be poisoned, even multiple heroes to be poisoned. Because remember, not only the one that he's throwing the poison vial on, but also the additional heroes that run into the traps are going to be poisoned as well. This will prolong the duration of the poison that is on an enemy, making it very, very difficult to deal Vurk. Vurk does a lot of damage. Again, ever since his rework, he has done absolutely phenomenal when it comes to damage. So let's go ahead and see him in the campaign, live in use, and check out the damage that he's doing. So let's take a look at this campaign stage. So right underneath the allied side, you do see the red little ring. That is where the traps are. Grez is poisoned currently, and Vurk, if you watch Vurk, 40 energy, 40 energy, 40 energy. Most times that he is go ahead and fire, there goes the ultimate ability. Boom, all 5 bolts doing 120% damage all the way up and down the entire stage. When you do get less heroes, or when heroes are actually pulled together, you can see he sticks right in the middle here to focus on Thorin, because Thorin is the only hero that's left. There goes the poison vial. So he is poisoned at that point, doing significantly less damage. So let's look at the damage that he did overall in this stage. Absolute powerhouse when it comes to the damage. So we have Sophia here doing 26 million, Vurk doing almost 35 million damage in stage 30-1. We don't have his furniture completely maxed out yet, which would make a big difference in the stats and the damage that he's putting out, but 35 million damage on that one. So let's go ahead. We'll take a look at one more stage here to see exactly the utility. It is so crazy to see how Vurk is, especially in the campaign and in the Mauler Tower. So this one, same. When they come out, as soon as they get set, there are the traps showed up right below everybody. As you can see, Anoki is actually in the top, taking a lot of damage. Sophia is banished, but we have 1, 2, 3 heroes that are getting hit right there from his piercing bolt. Ultimate ability goes off, 5 bolts up and down the whole entire battlefield, doing a crazy amount of damage. Have targets that are poisoned within there as well, taking out totems, taking out pretty much everybody. Now we just have Thorin left, so he will actually sit in that little spot there, working on Thorin, taking him down. There goes the poison vial to Thorin, even though he died. Another ultimate ability because he gets so many kills out of here. And look at the damage, just absolutely destroying Thorin right there. The crowd control, the damage, the utility that he has now is so very high. It is very cool to see the rework and how well he is. 56.6 million damage. Other big thing with Vurk is he'll take out totems, he'll take out minions, he'll take out ads, he'll take out a lot of things that are difficult if you don't have a AoE hero that can take care of them. So there you have it, seeing the skills and ability of Vurk, which was our hero breakdown for this week. Running him with Dura's Eye for 2 reasons. One, the crit. You want his attacks to be doing more damage. You want the 10 crit, as you see right here, the crit rating up by 10. But in addition, you want the attack speed. That is really the big priority. The faster that he can attack, the faster he can get energy, the faster he can ult, which is very, very powerful. We are waiting to see what the Ranger artifact looks like, but right now running him with the Dura's Eye is the best choice. So that is Vurk, guys. Absolute monster when it comes to the Mauler Tower. Does very well on the campaign, does damage very quickly, as well as provides a strong crowd control aspect with the poison traps that he has. So definitely go ahead and build him. Remember, he does need his plus 30 signature item. He does need his 9 of 9 furniture to be really successful, because the poison is what really makes the big difference in here. Negating the energy, negating the attack rating with the poison. Very, very strong. But let me know in the comments what you guys think and what you think of Vurk. And as always, thank you guys for watching.